Because to me, nature is the only and true artist, you know. And I chose to do the antlers, and pine cones are the skin and peridot.
Sorry.
And I wanted to create a mask that was wearable, and you know, I wanted to empower the green man because that's what I do in my work. So much of my installation pieces, the artwork, the jewelry is all about empowering nature. And so I said, what better symbol for me to use for the artist other than the green man, because that embodies who I am as a person and what I do. It's my motivation is nature. So that's why I chose that. And then I made his torque. Traditionally, the green man wears a torque, and then these are his hands, his gloves. So we created a pair of those as well, and that's about it. We just chose the green man and the goddess, and that's sort of Joan's thing. So would you like to say something about the goddess part of it?
Yes. So when Steve had made the mask, and I forgot how we decided to do the performance, but we were talking about, I said, you know, we have done other art meditations here before, and I said, you know, like with the mask, let's do a performance, right? Yes. And then we're deciding what to do, and Steve said, well, actually, I had made a melody. I sing. I was singing as I was making the mask.
Yeah, I was pulling up a chant so that I could go into like a trance before I started working on this, because I was having trouble getting into it and what it was going to be like. So I just said, I started doing this chant and this haunting kind of a melody, and then it just put me right in that space where I needed to be every time I started creating. So Joan said, oh yeah, well let me hear it. And then I sang it, and she said, that's crying for musicality, and that's crying for us to do something with it, you know? And I said, okay, well then, that's cool, you know, let's do it. So the last time every time I make a mask, I end up doing a performance piece. The last time we did the Tatiana and Oberon mask that you bought, Heel, and the Puck mask, and we did a performance at the Fairy Show.
Which means Steve wrote together, and he was Oberon, and our friend Sharon Bechtel was Titania, and I was the character Puck. And ever since then, I've had much good fairy luck.
So then this is my fourth mask, and then this is, I was just talking with Demetria this morning about it, saying, you know, it just seems like when you make a mask, your alter ego comes out, and you're like, you want to empower that thing, you know, that you've created, because the mask leads itself for that. So that's why I guess the performance art sort of came natural for this kind of thing.
And also, and then we asked Cathy and Kat, who are our stalwart musicians here that have performed a lot and done separately. They've never performed together. And so this was a great opportunity actually for all of us to perform together, and to me that's what Life Force Arts is about, is bringing all the different artists together and the different arts as well. I'd also like to ask Mariela, and we'll ask you about the music in a little bit, but Mariela is the artist of this magnificent piece in the middle, and so if you'd like to tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, should I turn around?
Yeah, if you can. Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, this piece has to do with nature as well, though it's the smallest part of the piece is the toe, like here. But it's actually a sacred medicine of Native American people that would smoke to have a body and mind, spirit opening, and like an experience, a divine experience of God. So it's a very sacred ritual, and I did partake of this sacrament, I call it, and it was, at the time I was already working on this piece, so it just came together, and since the theme of is the artist and the companion,
witness.
The witness, that's the other one, the witness. It felt like, you know, there's an access, a portal of access to the other world coming through the smoke. It could be smoke, it could be clouds, but all the animal totems are part of that companionship, the jaguar, the anaconda, moth. And then one thing my son pointed out, he was little when I was painting, was like, the goddess was looking, wherever she was looking at, it was all full of life, but behind her it was kind of more like desert and desolated. So eventually there were more flowers, I think he said that. But it was true, like behind her it's more like a desert landscape, and in front of her is more of the foliage, more like nature. So that's the piece, and I'm happy to have it here.
Well, I use that for my inspiration. We have the frog,
You
and the
do?
butterfly,
Oh, I see that.
and the butterfly, and the
there.
snake, and the egg, and everything that we have here is incorporating this painting.
That is so
And
nice.
Joan and I are incorporating this painting in our performance, and Colleen's too.
Yes, and
So-
Colleen will be here in just a few moments with the green man that she painted. That will go up on the wall there. Yes. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Would you like to say something about the music? What has been your experience,
What has been my
Kathy?
experience? Well, Joan asked if I would like to participate in this, and she mentioned that Kat would be part of the performance team as well. And the outline I got was pretty vague. The green man and the goddess, and come up with music. And what happened was Steve's wonderful theme, the chant that he created, has become a theme that we're using throughout the performance, and we'll use that during the meditation as well. And playing off of that, I came up with a melody that we ended up using to set to a poem by William Anderson, who wrote a book called The Green Man, which covers the cultural associations to the green man all over the world, the artwork all over the world throughout the centuries that depict the green man, and all the associated stories that go with that artwork. And at the beginning of the book is a poem that William Anderson wrote called The Green Man, and we are using some of the verses from that poem set to music that I wrote as part of the performance. And then we have a song particularly for the goddess as well. So using a variety of instruments, and I'm excited to be working with Kat because we've not had the chance to perform together yet. So I'm really excited about this.
I know, it worked out really well. Anything you'd like to say, Kat?
She's playing the bullhorn.
It's over there right now, but I'm playing a bullhorn, and other than that, I just feel good about that we finally have this group of people working together. You know, I'm creating a great piece. So. And thanks to Steve, that's an amazing mask. Just an amazing idea.
We have to welcome spring. We have to bring spring with us.
If I may say something, something that I, of course, would think about that other people would not, is that my friend, Samantha Applegate, had given me a poster of Colleen's painting as a birthday gift last year. So all the wonderful energy you are about to raise by means of sympathetic magic is available to me in my kitchen for an after party. Thank you so much.
Exactly. And in doing the dance, I took several themes out of the different paintings. That's one of the things that Steve was saying, you know, and actually had appeared in some of our art meditations that we've done. You know, because as we're going to take a little bit of time now, and you'll be hearing the music from the piece that we're going to do, and go around, observe the art, both the ones that we've talked about, but also any of the other ones. Demetria also is here, and she did the one that's over there. You want to say a little bit about that?
That is lightning as the witness, to go along with the theme of this particular show. And it's witnessing the fertilization of Semele. Semele is the mother of Dionysus, the holy child. And there are many parallels between Dionysus, as you know him from the classical era, Zeus, his reputed father from the classical era. But when you look in the archaic times, and when you go back into Asia Minor or Anatolia, you find that there are strains of these very same gods that came from Western Asia. The lightning is something they have in common. The main difference is that Zeus is the force of nature. He's the lightning in the sky, whereas Dionysus is the lightning of divine inspiration or madness, depending on where you and the gods stand with each other. What we have here is the lightning is coming out of the sky, descending in one of Zeus's forms as a shape-shifting god. He often takes on a serpent. And so in this serpentine form, he approaches Semele, and the rest of it shows the internal process on her part. Ecstasy, terror, conception, and the imminence of Godhead. But it's sort of a cartoon.
Doesn't Zeus have an ancestor, Orobus, who's a great serpent?
Zeus is a great serpent.
But so is Orobus his ancestor.
Are you thinking...
Orobus is the father of Cronus, and Cronus is the father of Zeus. That makes Orobus the grandfather.
Uranus. Uranus. Uranus or Uranos?
Yeah.
Uranos, yeah. Uranos or Uranus is literally the fiery overhanging heavens, the fire in the sky, which I think was a line in a rock and roll song that we hear on the radio every day or two. Smoke on the water, the fire in the sky.
Yeah.
It's very Uranian also.
That would be lightning.
But Uranus goes back to the Hittites and the template of what we know for the line of Zeus, what is older and what is younger. That's it.
And I'd also like to invite Lauren Katash to talk about her piece, which is over here.
Well, this piece is just in black and white because it's really about how we perceive our current reality and what's going on, and how we receive, and we see things differently with these two sides of us. And there's always like the witness and the person who's like not affected, but then there's another person who's really affected. It's always like that, you know? And so it's like, I don't know, it's kind of a very unusual piece. It's about many generations and current reality, so.
It really says witness, you know, because of
Witness.
the eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, what do you see? But, you know, everyone sees things, but then nobody sees anything. That's just like how it was when I was growing up. You know?
And Colleen's piece as well. Did you want to say something about the egg? What did you say the egg and the serpent was again? I forgot it. Demetria, maybe you know that?
Omphalos.
Oh, omphalos. Omphalos means the center of the world, literally the navel of the spiritual world. There are many places that call themselves the omphalos of a particular god or goddess, but it means the direct source. In Hinduism, sometimes you see the reclining god Vishnu sleeping, dreaming, and we are his dreams. And out of his navel is a lotus. And floating on the lotus are other aspects of the universal consciousness. So that's something to think about. The egg and the serpent are images that go back to the end of the last active part of the Ice Age, which we're still living in. But literally going back to 12,000 BC, we were drawing these forms. It's possible that we were painting or drawing these forms before that, but there's not as much evidence for that sort of thing. But you can you can go back that far and you'll see where there's human agency in creating serpents and eggs, as well as other forms from the natural world. The serpent and the egg are both symbolic of regeneration and rebirth.
Yes, and Joan is going to incorporate that into her dance, the Kundalini or Caduceus or Kundalini energy,
Kundalini
and the
energy,
chalice.
right? The also the roots, right? The roots, and then the branches, yes, and also the egg, right? That kind of thing. And from the roots also into the grapes on the one side, right? And also the oak on the other, right? And also the rays of the sun, which is what the bullhorn is about. We had, some of you may have seen a cat's picture on Facebook with the bullhorn, and of course the thing that I thought too is, isn't that for Rosh Hashanah? And somebody else said that too. But actually that's the ram's horn, and this is the bullhorn, so I'm sure it's one of those equinox holidays, you know, we're doing it.
But where the green man and the goddess meet is actually, the green man is the mask, is the other world coming to greet the goddess. So we're kind of incorporating that painting as well, Mariela, into our ritual part of what we're doing. That's our greeting as well, and Colleen's piece as well is part of the impregnation of spring. You know, the wand and the chalice and the snake and the pig and the Kundalini energy.
Citrine around the bullhorn, or to call the warmth and the sunshine back to
Exactly.
the dark and dreary.
That's correct.
Exactly. So I would invite everybody to go ahead and stand up and take some time to look around at the art. And as you can see on the sheet that you received, you know, you can feel free to stand up, look around, lie on the ground, close your eyes and meditate, and we'll be playing some beautiful music.
And then afterwards,
Singing.
we'll discuss if anybody has anything they want to share about what they saw in the meditation.
And there's also writing implements and drawing implements on the table.